8241, you're going to use linear equations to represent situations involving constant rate of change. Remember, linear equations is represented by f of x equals mx plus b. M represents the rate of change, also known as your slope, so it's the value that increases. B is your y-intercept, also known as a starting point or your starting value. And then we have proportionality and non-proportionality. Remember, proportionality would go through the origin in a graph. Question 1, part A, says a phone service provider charges 10 cents per minute used. Write an equation that represents the total cost C for m minutes used. So your total cost is what you want to find out. So that's going to be our f of x, or the y value. M is our slope. What does it increase by? Well, it increases by 10 cents per minute. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 0.10 for 10 cents. X is going to be represented by m minutes. So the cost C is equal to 10 cents a minute. And then we have no y-intercept. There is no starting value there. Down there in question B, says another company charges $8 per month plus 3 cents per minute used. Write an equation that represents the total cost C for n minutes used. So here's our total cost C. M is our slope. What does it change by? Well, your bill changes by 3 cents per minute, so 0.03 m. Now this equation does have a starting value. When you go with this company, you automatically pay $8 a month, so plus $8, and that will give us our total cost there for part B. If you look at these two equations, part A would be one that would be considered proportional because it does not have a y-intercept, so it's going through 0, which would be your origin. This here, equation 2, would be considered non-proportional because you would start up at 8 for the y-intercept. Same in example 2, a video rental store charges $10 a yearly membership fee and $3 per video, which is the equation that gives you the yearly costs C. So we want to find the yearly cost C. In order to get to that yearly cost, well, what happens? Well, you rent N videos. We know N videos is $3 per video. So I'm going to say $3 per N is going to give us our cost. On top of that, we also have a yearly charge of $10. So we have to add that yearly charge of $10. So this would give us our total cost there, depending on how many videos we rent. And again, this would be non-proportional because the y-intercept is 10. In example 5, we need to go ahead and write an equation given a table here. So it says which equation models the relationship in the table if C represents the cost and N represents the number of pizzas. Two ways you can do this. You can simply use plug and play for this. You can plug these values in down below and see what equation works. Or you could try to problem solve and go ahead and write that f of x equals mx plus b. We know that the C value is really f of x, also known as y. Now we need to figure out m. M is our slope. That is our rate of change. So I'm going to figure out the rate of change. C is really a y value. N is really an x value. So I see that I have a difference of 5, and a difference of 5. Down below we have 1, 1, and 1. So looking at this, remember, to find out the slope, it is the change in y over the change in x. Well, the change in y is 5. The change in x is 1. So really what my slope here is 5. So 5 would go in for your slope. X, we're not using x, we're using n in this case. Well, you could actually really stop here. You don't even really need to figure out the intercept, because if you look at these equations here, notice 7n, 10n, 6n, 5n, and we came up with 5n. So this would be the correct solution. Another way, remember, is go ahead and plug these values in. So if I put in this first ordered pair, put in 1 times 5 is 5 plus 2 is 7, and you should check it for 3 values. If it works for 3, it'll work for all of them. This will conclude our lesson on 8241.